Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So today, let us focus on ranking functions, okay, in SQL Server as part of development. So why we have to use ranking functions and what are the different ranking functions we have? Let us understand today. Now, we have various ranking functions. These are used to provide rankings for rows based on one or more conditions. Ranking functions we have row number, rank, dense rank, and type, and partition by is going to be used as a clause. And these functions have been introduced in SQL Server 2005, almost 11 years back. So let us understand each function is going to do what. So what is the syntax? Let us understand the syntax is you have to specify the column or columns. For example, when you say select employee ID, employee name, and you have to use the ranking function name. And over clause, we have to use order by some column, any column from the table, you should be able to take and as alias and from the table. Okay, this is the syntax of ranking function. And let us understand what are the ranking functions are going to do. So row number returns the sequential number starting from 1. So for example, I wanted to get a row numbers for each and every row. So that is also starting from 1. You cannot start from 5. For the customer says that I need to start the value from 2 or 3 or 5, it cannot be done. So only with the 1. So rank returns the rank for each row with gap, and dense rank returns the rank for each row without gaps. So Ntile is going to use splits the data into n number of groups, assigns an unique number to each group starting from 1. So let us understand immediately what each function is going to do. So let me flip to SQL Server. So I have some data here. Select star from there is a table we are using called account master table. And let me execute this. I have some data. But when I execute the data, I had lots of, rows are coming. And the last row would be the 64th row. And this is the data. But this is the account number. If the customer says, I wanted to have some serial numbers. So what we can do, say I need account ID and need a name. I have C balance column. I have a branch ID also. Okay. I have some data. So what I'm selecting account ID, name, I'm selecting C balance column and I'm selecting branch ID. So let me execute this query. So you got some data. So along with this, you wanted to have a row number. There is no row number in this. So you have to execute a row number. For example, whenever you get a credit card transactions, so there is a serial number is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that serial number, the row number is not stored in the table because in that month when you make 30, 40 transactions, so every monthly you will get transactions, right, in the credit card. But in that, they have to again start with 1, 2, 3. Again, next month they will get 1, 2, 3. So whenever they retrieve the data, they put some serial number with the row number and you'll get the row number. So we have to use row underscore number. And this is what is the syntax I'm talking about. Let me take the syntax and okay. So columns I had taken account ID, name, C balance. And I have to use a function called row number and over. So space over and open the bracket. Any one column from the table, either from this or from any other columns. Okay. So you can take, so let me use as of now account ID. So order by account ID. And you have to use either ascending or descending. And you have to give alias as serial number and execute. Now what is going to happen here? It is gets the data and it sorts the data based on this, and it is going to allocate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to get the numbers of 64. This is not, this is by SQL Server. Try to understand. This is the query. Okay. So whenever you give this to reporting services or any other application, so they will be getting the row number or serial number of this. Okay. Now, when you say, I wanted to sort this data based on DESC, let me put DESC. Now let us see the query. Execute. Now this is physically sorted, and this sorting is happening. Then the serial number is able to give. So instead of order by account ID, you can also say a name, customer name. I would like to use customer name. So in ascending order. So now this, this goes off and the data is sorted on this. Now, the AR Rahman, so Abhishek, Aditya, Kruti, like that, we have the data and the serial numbers have been allocated. So, what is going to do? It is going to perform this operation first, okay, and it sorts the data, and after that, it allocates the row number and it prints the remaining values also. Clear? So, this is how we have to understand the row number function. Row number always starts with one only. You cannot say, I wanted to start with the 4 and end with 10. So that you cannot do that. So this is what is the row number function. Okay. But if somebody is saying, say, get the fifth row. Okay. If somebody is saying get the fifth row, so that means I wanted to get this row. Or somebody is saying get the third row. Or somebody is saying get the ninth row because this is ninth row. So if somebody is saying like this, now let me go here and put where the serial number or row number, whatever you have, the serial number equals to say 5. Will it work? Let us see. So when I execute this, it is not going to work. Why? Because the serial number is not a column from account master table. So this we have created part of the select statement. So definitely it's not going to work. If you give alias only for the printing. It is not for the filtering something. Or instead of serial number, can I use row number function like this? So take entire script and replace here and let us execute. So this also fails. Windowed functions. These are called windowed functions only appear in select order, or order by clause. So this is also not going to work for you now. But how do I get the fifth row? So this is the question we have to understand. The customer is saying get the fifth row. So now what you have to use, you have to use derived table. Okay. What is a derived table? What is that? A query in the from clause. So you have to say select star from. In the from clause, you open the bracket, you close the bracket, and you copy entire query. Okay, so copy this query and you have to paste it here. And a query which is there in the from clause is known as a derived table. Understand? So whenever you're writing a derived table, you must have an alias. So as K, and now you have to say K is the table name, and in the K table you have a column name called serial number. Now you can say serial number equals to 5. Okay. Now let us understand whether you're able to get or not. Okay. So I need the fifth row, and this is how you should be able to get the data. So this is what is called a derived table concept. Okay, what is a derived table? A query in the from clause is known as a derived table, and derived tables must have alias. If you keep the same query as part of where clause, this is what is known as a subquery. Remember this. A query in the where clause is known as a subquery. A query in the from clause is known as a derived table. And the derived tables must have alias. If you wanted to write this kind of a queries, then definitely you have to keep entire logic into the from clause and you have to say like this. So this is the fifth row. If you wanted to get some exactly some row, you should be able to get it. Now, okay. Now let me go back to this and I'm sorting the data here based on some name, or I wanted to sort the data based on some account ID. See, whatever you can use, and you should be able to get some data. So you're able to sort the data and assigning. But what customer says, we have a lot many branches here. I wanted to have the row number for each and every branch. For example, I wanted to get all BR1 customers and give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And BR2, again, I have to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the meaning of this? I wanted to give a row numbers branch wise. For example, in auditorium, 1,000 people are sitting. So India, America, we have China. So continuously you can give row numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. Instead of giving country-wise row numbers you wanted to have. So what is it? If the China, you have 100 people, 1 to 100. If India, again, you have to start with 1 again. So I'm talking about branch-wise, I wanted to allocate row numbers. Are you getting the point? Now this is continuous numbers. So continuous numbers for all branches. Now the question is that I wanted to get branch-wise. This is the point. Okay. So the branch changes, the row number has to start from again 1. So branch wise, I wanted to get serial numbers or row numbers, whatever we're talking about. Okay. Now, if this is the case, we have to use one more clause called partition by clause. Okay. Partition by clause we have to use. So how to use partition by clause? So partition by, you have to use it. And which column we're talking about? Branch. So partition by branch ID. And it is going to get all the data, BR1 data, one group, BR2 data, one group. Within that, it is going to sort this data and it is going to give you numbers. Let us see what is going to happen now. Now it is going to partition the data. Partition means it is going to get all BR1 values, and within the BR1 it is going to sort the data. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you get BR1 is 17 people we are having, now BR2 starts. Again, the row number is going to start with 1. Okay. So partition by clause is going to group the data, and within that it is going to give you the ranking function starting with 1. Okay. So BR2, again the data is sorted on this. So BR2 data is going to group, in that it's going to sort the data and going to allocate. So when you have BR2, only 6 people we have. Again, we have BR3 starting with 1, 2 like this. So partition by clause is going to be used along with any ranking function here. So this is what is the row number length. For example, now I need get the fifth row from each branch. Okay, fifth row from each branch means only one thing we have to take it. We have to keep this here. And so fifth row, this is the fifth row. And here you don't have fifth row. Sometimes you may not be having fifth row yet. Okay, but let me go here and here, let me have this and let me execute. Now it is going to give you. So from BR1, Divya Medi is fifth row. So like that for BR2 and BR3, BR4, BR5, BR6, we are able. BR7, BR8, BR9 also we have, but unfortunately you don't have those many customers. So you're not able to get, you have only 3 customers. So it's not able to give you. So like that, you should be able to get this kind of things also when you use partition by clauses. Clear? So now let us understand the next function, so row number and dense rank. So I have my balance in the bank, okay, and let me use a ranking function and let me use dense rank functions. We have 2 functions to understand here. For example, I have 5,000, I have 4,000, I have 3,000, I have 3,000, I have 1,000. This is my data in the table. So when you sort the data descending order, so ranking function is going to give you, this is the first rank, and this is the second rank, and this is the third rank, and this is the third rank, and this is okay. So since the third is repeated twice, and this is 3, this is 4, you think like that, and it is repeated twice. So what is going to do? It is going to allocate the rank number as 5. So there is a gap here. So definitely there is a gap here. Try to understand. So after 3 there is a gap. Why? Because so it is 3, it is 4, and it is 5. So when you have duplicates data, it is going to, create a gap, and the next ranking function will have 5. And but when you take a dense rank, what is going to happen? It is 1, and it is 2 as it is, and it is 3, okay, and it is 3, and when you come down it is not going to give any gaps. So even though you have duplicates, so no gap going to be created. It is sequential numbers. So from 3 and 5 there is a gap, and 3 and 4 there is no gap. So when you need continuous ranking numbers, then you have to use dense rank functions. if you wanted to have this kind of a ranking when something is duplicated, for example, when 3000 you have once more 333, because of that you will get 6 here. Clear? So let me give you, for example, if I have 3000 here, you will get 3 here, and because of this you will get 6, and here you will get 3 here, and so here definitely is gap. Okay, after this you have to have the gap, but here not at all a gap, so that you have to be clear with. Okay, you will get continuous numbers from here, but definitely you're going to find a gap there. So have you understood? Since it is 3 and 4 and 5 and things like that, and it will be 6. So definitely when you use ranking functions, you will get gaps. So dense rank, you don't get gaps, continuously numbers. Okay, that's it. So when you go here, so I wanted to use, a ranking function. So let us understand what's going to happen. So rank and let us use dense rank, both of them. So let us see what is going to happen. So same thing, whatever I explained. So only thing is that we have to use rank here. But whenever you're using ranking, you have to sort the data based on balance, not by account ID, and not ascending, it is descending. Okay, it is a ranking. So rank underscore number, something like this. So when you execute the data, who's having highest balance? For example, Javed Akhtar is the number one guy. He has much more balance. Now ranking 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So when you come down here, I have lots many duplicates are 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Lots of duplicates rankings are there. Because of this, and it skipped 5 rows, it went into 26 here. Have you seen the difference? So it is not continuously the functions. So 27, 28, 27, then you got 31 here. So this is what is the ranking function is going to do. The rankings. So fortunately, unfortunately, it is, and with 64 ranks, but it's going to skip lot many things over there. Okay, but when you go in for the same thing, but let us use dense rank. So copy and paste the same thing, and instead of rank, let us put what? Dense rank. That's it. So let us say dense rank, and let us remove the comma. It is showing you some error here, and execute. So now when you see everything is fine, there is no duplicates, everything is comma. And when there is a duplicate, here the circus starts, the drama starts. Now here you have a 21 and 21. Then there is a gap here, but it is immediate number is given, it is dense rank. So there is no gap, there is a gap. And 23, from here, the ranking will change for both of the customers. According to Akriti, is 27th rank. According to this guy, it is 23rd rank for Akriti. Okay. Now, when you come down, so definitely end of the day, you have only 49 ranks. Here, it's going to skip everything. It's going to end with the number of rows you have. So this is what we have to understand. So whenever there is a duplicates of data, so 42, 42, 43, but it's skipping something. Clear? So this is what we have to understand. Now, if somebody says, get the highest balance guy. So highest balance guy means we have to use rank or dense rank. But who's having second highest balance in the bank? Who's having third highest bank? So that queries we were using sub queries. If somebody is asking who has the highest salary in our team, so in our company, so we have to use sub queries and write. The same query should be able to use now rank or dense rank, but don't use the rank because some ranks may be missing. For example, people are asking who has the 10th highest rank, who's having 11th highest. So you may have some kind of a gap here because of the 10th may not be there, the 11th rank may not be there. So instead of using a rank number, use a dense rank number. So you should be able to find out who's having, 10th highest balance. So let us understand, come down here. So let me put the same query here. And I wanted to find out highest balance, highest balance customer. Okay. So who's having highest balance customers? Let me remove this and I'm going to use this. And now definitely I know that highest balance is, Javed Akhtar, but can I say, or let me put simply a R number. Why this much big? So simply ranking number I put. So if I say R number one, will it work? When I say like this, where R number equals to 1, can I get? It is not going to give you because it is R number is the column. You have to create everything in a derived table. So how do I do that? So very simple, select star from, open the bracket and you close the bracket here as K. Now this is what is called derived table. Okay. And now who's going to have the data? So Java. So instead of a star, you can put only the name also. So you should be able to get only that name. Okay. So Java is having the data. When you put C balance, you should be able to get that also. Okay. So like that, you should be able to get Javed is the first ranker in this. But I wanted to get the second ranker. Who's having the second rank? So who's having the third rank? Who's having the fourth rank? So like the second rank is Bhaskar Jogi. Who's having a 21st rank? So who's having highest, 21 position? We have many people like Sailu, Shilpa, Kavya Reddy, and like that. So this is the best thing where you can write the queries: first highest balance, second highest balance, third highest balance, fourth highest balance, and only with the help of this query and with the help of this query. Okay, but I wanted to get how you okay, so how you wanted to have from each branch. I wanted to get the ranking, so I need branch wise ranking. That's what I'm saying. Okay, branch wise ranking I would like to get. So same thing, you should be able to use Control C and Control V. And when you say branch wise ranking, let me remove. So you can use here and there, no problem also, but let me use with only one function. So ranking function like that. Now here I wanted to use a clause called partition by. This we had already discussed. Okay. So partition by what? Branch ID. So order by C balance. Now let us see what is going to happen. Now already So in the first branch, Javed Akhtar is the number one. And when you go to the second branch, and here the number one balance is Radha Krishna. Like that, the ranking is given and for each and every branch wise. So I wanted to know, who's having highest balance in the respective branches. So BR2 is this guy and BR1 is this guy. So you can also have branch wise ranking. So when you use, a partition by clause, it's going to group the branch first. Within that, it is going to sort the data based on the balance and it is going to allocate the numbers. Okay. Now I wanted to know, get the fifth row we have done, and we had also read highest balance customers also we have done. But I wanted to have highest balance, the first highest balance, the first, let me say, the first highest balance customers from each and every branch. So that is my query. So let me take, now I am changing the query. First highest balance customers, okay, from each branch I need. So now what we have to use a class called partition by BRID. Okay, now let us execute the same thing here. Let me put one here. Okay, now this is very, very interesting query. You should be able to understand. Javed Akhtar is number one bank in their branch. And this is, if you want to display branch also, you should be able to display. Or you can put star also. Star also. So in BR1, this is the guy. BR2, this is the guy. BR3, and this balance. So like that, you should be able to understand. I should be able to get branch-wise ranking. And I would like to have who's the first ranker in your class, who's the second ranker in my class, who's the third ranker in my class, or in my subject, or in my city, or in my branch. Like that, you should be able to get it. So this is the query you should be able to write beautifully. Clear? So rank and density rank we are able to use. The next function we're going to discuss about is that, you know, Row number we discussed, rank and dense rank also returns the rank for each row with gap. Row number returns the sequential number starting from 1. Dense rank returns the rank for each row without gaps. So Ntile splits the data into n number of groups, assigns an unique number to each group. Let us understand. I have 1,000 people in auditorium. Okay. I am saying somebody divide the entire crowd into two groups. So what you do it? You have to say, hey, 500 people group number one, another 500 people group number two. Okay. So Ntile is going to split when you give in this braces two. So when you have account master table is having say 1,000 rows split into two groups, and the group number one will get 1,500 rows will get one number, and remaining 500 rows will get a group number as a 2. That is what is the splits entire data into n number of groups. For example, when I say 3, you have 1,000 people in this room. So what's going to happen? You will have say approximately 333 like that, and the last group will have one guy extra. So like that, you should be able to understand like that. So 333, 333 like that, or whatever it is. So you will have, okay. So, and each guy, so 1,000 people will be divided into three groups, and each group will get group number one, and group number two, and group number three. And here you may have some extra rows when you have, data. For example, when you have 60 rows, or when you have 50 rows, when I say Ntile 2, and I'll get 25 and 25. But when I have 51 rows. So first group will get 25 people, and second group will get 26 people, because you have to have extra row somewhere you have to keep it separately. Okay. So and 25 will have group number as 1, and remaining 26 people will have group number as 2. So this is the Ntile function is going to have. So let us understand how it's going to work. Now let me write Ntile splits. Now select star from account master table. You know that we have 64 rows. How do you know? When you go into this corner, you should be able to find out number of rows in this table. When you come down also, you will be able to get 64 rows. Now I wanted to split. So Ntile, how many groups? 2. And this is the function name. Then you have to use entire this one. Okay. So remove this and space give. And instead of partition by and all, let us remove and order by some account ID and say descending. So this is common. So it is not a row number. This is a group number. So G number. So let me execute this. Now what is happening? The 64 rows have been divided into two groups. When you go here, so this is what you have one. So when you see here, and 32 rows is group number one when you see the group number. And when you come down, so this is where the 33 row. So from here, the group number two started. Like that, you will have the equal number of groups. So I need three groups. So you have to go here and execute the data. So now let us understand, each group has how much of data. So we have say 22, 22, 22, like something like this, 22, 22, 22, 66 or 64. I think last has only 20 rows. Like that, you should be able to have Ntile function. So you should be able to divide number of rows, and I need the group number one data. For example, I'm dividing the entire data into three sets, and one set I wanted to send it to server one, a second set I wanted to send it to server two, third set I wanted to send it to server three. So if you need only one set, you know that. So get first group. So how do you get the first group? That you know already. So select star from copy paste entire as a derived table, open the bracket, control V as K, and you have to say where G number equals to 1. So first group data, I wanted to send it to some people. So first group is having say 22 rows. Or I would like to have second group data. So let me execute. The second group is having some data. We have 21 rows are there. Second group, you would like to send it to some other people, and let me have the third group. So like that, you should be able to get the group's data and give it to people. This is what is called Ntile function. Are you clear? So these are the ranking functions we should be able to understand. Any questions you have, you can ask.